Today, Manchester has this country's largest tramway network, the Manchester Metrolink. But if some early plans had been pursued, we could have actually had a modern monorail system instead. Many will be familiar with the failed plans for the underground system in Manchester, the Picc-Vic scheme. This would have been for conventional trains running underground through the city centre, linking Piccadilly and Victoria stations. The very early studies and proposals were for a route from Middleton through the city centre to Manchester Airport. This study, the Manchester Rapid Transit Study, published in August 1967, looked at various methods of both track and traction, from conventional rail to guided rubber tyre rail and monorail. This video will look at these various ideas for Manchester's rapid transit network. We start with a rundown of some of the systems that they examined, some clearly non-starters and in cloud cuckoo land. We have to ask, what on earth were they thinking? The Aerotrain, a propeller-driven air cushion vehicle. Passenveyor, a continuous passenger conveyor system. Starcar, battery-operated guided cars. Teletrans, fixed-route individually dispatched cars. Rapid Belt, another small car system, belt-driven this time. Last of the crackpot ideas, an automatic rail taxi self-routing car. Two more slightly conventional schemes looked at were a guided busway and a cable car. 4 systems were to be examined in detail by the study. My apologies if my pronunciation is wrong. First is Alweg, this being a monorail with rubber tyres. Second is Duorail, using steel wheels on twin steel rail track, or a conventional train to you and me. Third is Safez, a suspended single rail monorail. Fourth is Skybus, otherwise known as the Westinghouse Transit Expressway, effectively a rubber-tyred guided busway. All 4 of these systems were to be examined in detail by the 1967 study, and one was to emerge as the preferred option going forward. No prizes for guessing which one. The route chosen for the study is a curious one. Coming from Manchester Airport makes sense, but the route through the city centre bypasses Manchester Piccadilly. True, it intersects with Oxford Road, but a large proportion of trains terminate at Piccadilly. Looking at the full route, we see it would have been a mix of elevated, ground level and underground sections. The elevated sections would definitely not have proved popular. Artists' impressions of the visual intrusion of all the 4 systems show just how awful this would have been for those living alongside it. The monorail systems already in operation elsewhere further demonstrate how ugly they would have been ploughing through the streets of Manchester. The Alweg system did find favour in certain parts of the world, but was never to be the transport revolution that they hoped for, the one in Disneyland being one some might have experienced. The proposed vehicles for Manchester is seen here. The Skybus plan was what can only be described as an over-engineered guided busway. We now have guided busways in England. Indeed, Manchester has an example of one, but that didn't require the over-complicated methods of guidance the Skybus would have required. So all in all, another non-starter. The Safez system is more along the lines one would associate with a monorail, with this futuristic look of a sleek, suspended train straight out of science fiction. But, despite its futuristic looks, it still used rubber tyres in a guideway. This photo of one of the bogies clearly demonstrates this. One thing associated with all the previous 3 systems is not just the overcomplicated vehicles themselves, but the track work. Point work being especially so. Points will always be required on transit networks, for short working, but more importantly, in the event of a train failure. One system which avoided the problems of all the previous 3 was Duorail, the so-called Duorail being of course a conventional railway. Although some heavy engineering would be required, including the ugly elevated sections, the Duorail technology is well understood and readily compatible with existing lines. Whilst planning transport systems always require in-depth study and projections, we have to ask, was this particular study really necessary? All to just try and reinvent the wheel. How much time and money was wasted in this pointless exercise? And all this from a city which was at the birth of the modern passenger railway. The dual-rail system was eventually the one recommended by the study, and would, many alterations later, become what would have been the Picc-Vic Underground. Of course, a lot of time and money had already been wasted delaying this underground, and as we know, it was to be ultimately cancelled. Its later replacement, the Metrolink trams, were to prove successful, and lead to the network we now have. But could you imagine sections of the city blighted by the ugly suspended monorail, rather than trams that seamlessly blend into today's cityscape? Although the cancellation of the underground might at the time been seen as a blow, the Metrolink has grown to be arguably a much better transport system. But the prospects for an underground railway in Manchester haven't gone away. In May 2025, the Liverpool and Manchester Railway Board announced a plan for a new high-speed line between the two cities. The plans include a new underground station at Manchester Piccadilly and links to the airport. Will this plan succeed, or be scuppered by economic and political issues, both at home and abroad? Only time will tell. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to check out all my other railway history videos, as well as vintage bus videos and model railway videos too. Thank you.